Yo, what's up, Niner faithful? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our Niners breakdowns. All right, let's get it. So today's video is just going to be kind of an expansion of what happened in yesterday's game. The reality is that we played for the number one seed. We played for a bye, and our offense came out there to play. Our defense came out there to play. And ironically, our defense held up. You know, they only scored 13 points. I do believe they were assisted by the offense. Like, I think if the offense of the Seahawks had played like the Bears offense had played on, Sunday night last week, I think this would have been a blowout, like 30-3, right? I think that our defense was assisted by some of the choices and some of the risks, like going for it on fourth down and, 2 missed field goals. Just really, this was a really grimy game. And last 2-3 weeks, if we would have had this type of performance from our defense, our offense would have been like, that's it. That's all we need. And we can go ahead and put up and score. But this offense really got stopped by an elite defense in the Seahawks. The one thing that I'm really going to talk about today is Seattle's ability to put pressure, quick pressure on Brock with only rushing 4 and the impact that it has on the rest of the offense. When you have a defense that can put pressure on and only put pressure with 4, this is like the dream defense that we once would have loved to have had. And even now, we'd love to have a defense that pressures with 4 and that's able to get up on the quarterback really fast. The reason why this is so important, though, is because when you can pressure with 4, what that allows your other defenders is to get back in coverage and to cover all our offensive weapons down the line. And here's the thing. The reason why that's so important is because like we talked about, Brock Purdy is throwing to people like Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, Sky Moore. And these type of receivers, they can be really good receivers, but what they aren't very good at is getting separation when it comes to man coverage. And so what happens is, I was actually really impressed by the way Purdy played, because what I realized right away was, there had been games probably going back last year, even the year before that, where this is the type of game where Purdy's like, okay, let me go try to play hero ball because there's nobody, I can see nobody, so let me just go see if I can throw it. And what I really liked about Purdy was he stayed disciplined and he understood, if I just try to throw willy-nilly without a good route or a good out, then I'm going to throw an interception because this defense is that type of defense. And so I thought Purdy played really disciplined. But what that also, allowed us to see is that Purdy was getting pressured right away, quick pressure, and he was throwing out some balls quick and fast because he had to, right? But then when you would see just a fraction of time, you were seeing everybody down the field extremely well covered. And so that was the biggest thing that I noticed, that our guys just weren't able to get separation. What are the 2 factors that really make a difference in this type of situation? The 2 factors are, 1, no Trent Williams. That allows their front 4 to have a really strong advantage. Again, I think Austin Pleasance, for what he is, he's a backup left tackle. He's done okay, but he's going to get beat because he's not Trent Williams, right? And that's not his fault. He just isn't Trent Williams, an all-world left tackle. The second thing is, this is where a receiver like a Ricky Pearsall, like a Brandon Ayuk, these are the better receivers that we have had where they're able to at least get some form of separation down the field. And the reason why this is so important is because this is how you can make a mismatch. And this is how, even when your guys are covered, you have one guy that you can throw it to that's going to have at least a chance at getting that ball. And because you remember early on in the first half, Purdy was throwing to Jennings on a couple of targets where he was expecting Jennings to make the catches because they were tight window throws. But when Purdy threw the tight window throws to Jennings, Jennings was losing. He was literally getting those balls, the pass breakups were hitting, and he was getting them batted down. He was getting them out of his hands, right? There were multiple times where some receiver would have like a ball, but then they would get the defense. Seattle's defense would either do a PBU pass, pass breakup, or they would tackle before, behind the sticks. They would tackle before that first down could get going. So that rhythm, that pace really affected how the offense was going. And this is where us getting a receiver who can consistently be available and can consistently get separation, that's where we need that type of receiver, right? So overall, I would say that was kind of the issue that was going on with our offense. We were missing our all-world left tackle, which was allowing even more pressure to get to Purdy faster, wasn't allowing him enough time. And even when he had just a smidge of time, he was getting the ball out as fast as he could. And even when he only had a little bit of time, the coverage on our guys down the field was so better than we had seen, honestly, anywhere else because of how good that defense is. And the other thing is, like we talk about the back-breaking interception that was thrown, I do believe if we hadn't had that, back-breaking interception, we would have scored on that drive. Now, does that mean we would have still won or still lost? Who knows, right? It's anybody's game. But I do believe it was just so indicative of the game we were having where the ball broke, the Seahawks way. And it was still, a good ball by Brock. Like, even it getting tipped by the defensive lineman, it still landed in Christian's hands. And those are the type of balls where it's like, if they hit your hands, you got to catch them. No matter what, you got to catch them. And not only did he not catch it, it just popped out of his hand into the defensive player's hands for it to get intercepted. So those are the type of things that it's really tough to win games when you're in that kind of situation. Now, with that being said, our defense, the only comment I want to make is I will congratulate them. They only allowed 13 points. I will say they got saved on a couple of movements where that offense did rescue them from it looking a lot worse. But the thing is, there were a couple of times, even with our defense, there were more than a few times where they had clearly gotten that other offense. Like that one play where you take a look and there's a shot of John Lynch and just going, oh my gosh, what just happened? Where they get them into like a 3 and 19, and then Kenneth Walker goes for like 23 yards or something like that. Like, that can't happen when the other opposing team is already just running it just to give it back and punt it. You got to make those plays. With that being said, super proud of our boys. We're going to go at it next week. We are going to be fighting, in the wild card, and we'll see. I'm not going to put anything past these guys. I've seen them come out from worse. But tell me what your guys' thoughts are. I'd love to hear your comments. What do you think should happen next? What do you think could have been done differently? How do you think we could have improved? And where do you see our playoff run going? With that being said, Phantom out.